Hello everyone, this is Ange, and you can call me Angie the Amputee. I'm here on my YouTube channel, and I thought I would just give a little backstory as to how I became an amputee. It's kind of a crazy story, but most amputee stories are. So, on January 7th of 2012, I went skiing with my family. We went skiing in honor to of a person that had passed away, who was a really amazing skier. I should preface this by saying that I hadn't been skiing in 13 years, and so that was an issue. So we got up there and to the mountain, and the first run of the day, completely forgot how to ski. I knew how to ski, but I was skiing down, and there was a part where it goes from groomed to not groomed, and it's like kind of like shark tooth bumps, and I freaked out. Like, I forgot everything I'd ever learned, and I hit that straight legged, and I was going fast, and so I hit it straight legged, and it snapped my leg on impact. And I didn't realize it was broke at the time. So I laid there, and I was right underneath the lift, and so a ton of people were like, "Hey, look at her, she's totally down." Anyways, my husband at the time, he's now my ex-husband, but he skied down and was like, "Did you blow your knee out again?" Because this was not my first issue with having leg issues. I had blown my knee out before. And I couldn't even talk, so I just did this. And he said, "Well, do I need to get ski patrol?" And I said, because I didn't want to deal with like the sled and stuff. Like, I didn't want anything to do with that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Maybe it'll go away. I don't know what I was thinking. My body, I guess, had kind of gone into shock. And so yeah, I sat there for a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is not working so good. And after a few minutes, because I was under the lift, word had got back to ski patrol that there was a woman down, and it was me. And so they had brought their snowmobile over, and with the toboggan and stuff. And I apparently have too much pride. We're gonna just say that out the gate, because I did not want to get on the sled. I was like, not gonna happen. So my ex-husband skied down. He saw that the ski patrol was with me. He says, "Well, he had gone to find my kids," and so anyways, he's like, "I'll take care of the kids. They just need to get you off the mountain." So anyways, I refused to let them put me on the toboggan. So that was kind of interesting. They said, "Okay, well, we'll lift the bottom of your leg," because it literally wasn't attached like anymore. The leg was like, the bottom half was like flopping around. And so they said, "On the count of 3, lift, and with your good leg." And I said, "Okay." And they held the bottom of my leg, and I held the top of my leg, and I was still really strong at that time. And we lifted, and that's when the pain hit me, and I made this giant, like, I've never heard myself make that noise. Like, it was just an animal in pain, like just a groan. I wasn't crying. I was just like, because, well, I had broke my leg, and I didn't realize it was broke at the time. I thought I had just torn the ligaments. So kind of crazy. They got me on the snowmobile, actually, and we braced my leg like up against the side and headed down the mountain to the ski shack. So that was the beginning of my nightmare. So when we got home, well, we were able to, my father-in-law at the time was up in the mountain with us. So he was able to drive my car, because we had taken 2 separate cars. And my ex-husband took my kids, and they drove down the mountain, and we got home. And I said to my ex-husband, like I said, he was my husband at the time, I said, "I need to go to the ER." And he said, "I need to go to work." And I said, "Well, I think it's broke. Like, it's broke." Because by this time I was feeling the bones slide back and forth. And he just said, "There's no way you could go through that and be okay. Like, you're not even crying." Like, and I was like, "Dude, I've had 4 kids. I'm good. Like, I can totally, whatever." And back and forth a little bit, debating, whatever. And so I ended up staying at home. And for 3 days, with a broken leg, and it was in a cardboard duct tape splint, and I was on ibuprofen, and that was not a recipe for healthy fixing of the leg. I had called my doctor and said, I think I blew my leg out, like my knee out. I think the bones are broke, but I'm not 100% sure. And he said, well, if you think the bones are broke, you got to go up to the ER. And so I don't know. Anyways, I ended up not going until Monday. I broke it on, I think it was like a Friday. And I contacted my very sweet neighbor who took me over to the hospital. And they did x-rays, and they said, indeed, it is broke. And your leg has been filling up with blood this entire time. So, I mean, it looked unreal. It was like 3 times the size it should have been, because it is a very vascular part of the bone where I broke it. It's called the tibial plateau fracture, and it's just below the knee, and so that's where I broke it. So they had to drain that, and then they put me in an actual, brace, and I waited for 6 months for that bone to heal. They didn't want to do surgery for some reason, and a lot of my issues ended up because of this specific doctor. Of course, I'm not going to name any names, and obviously not exactly the greatest of care at home. But that said, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm just saying that things could have been done different. So it is what it is. Anyways, so fast forward 6 months, I finally get the bone healed, which was really great. I was super excited about that. And I went in, and he said, okay, well, we need to give you new ligaments, right? Because I had blown my ACL and my MCL too. So we went into surgery, and they gave me an ACL, and I was doing PT, physical therapy, and I blew out I tore my cartilage and the meniscus, and I went back to the doctor, and I said, what the heck happened? Why would that happen? And he's like, well, it's because you need an MCL. And I was like, well, why didn't you do that while you were in there? And he said, we'll do it now. So I said, okay. And I just am a very trusting person. I'm less trusting now, but I was very trusting. I thought that he had my best interests at heart, which I don't really know what was going on. Went in, got this MCL. 3 months of rehab, and my leg still was at a 90-degree angle like this as I'm walking. And I went back to him, and I said, why is my leg like this? I've done everything right. And he said, oh my gosh, your MCL didn't take, and now you've rehabilitated away the rest of the cartilage and the meniscus. So we're going to have to do a total knee. And I was 35 at the time, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is really young to have a total knee replacement. But I was like, all right, this is the doctor, so I was trusting him. So he went in and did a total knee replacement, and I continued to rehab my leg. And there was a lot of scar tissue in there, because obviously there was a huge amount of trauma that had happened to this knee, and I didn't get my leg to bend or straighten. So I did what's called they had me do a manipulation, and the first manipulation did not go well. A manipulation's where they force the knee, they put you under anesthesia, and then they force the knee to bend and straighten, and they want to break up all that scar tissue inside the joint. So I was like, all right, we'll have to do a second. I guess we have to do a second one, because we couldn't get it to move like it should have. So I guess actually it was the doctor that suggested I should clarify. He said, we'll have to do a second one. And I said, okay. So I went through 2 manipulations, and the second manipulation, he snapped my femur in 2 places. So that was insane. It came out of anesthesia, and he said, we fractured your femur. I said, you broke my leg. I came to you with a broken tib, and now you've broke my femur? What? Anyway, so yeah, stay tuned for part 2.